Eagles Entertainment.
Welcome, Eagles everywhere, to the Eagles Insider Podcast presented by Lincoln Financial Group. I'm Eagles Insider Dave Spadaro, and I'm at the NovaCare Complex on a beautiful Thursday. It's a quiet Thursday here. The Eagles ending their organized team activities on Wednesday, and now we pause. Training camp starts in late July right here in South Philadelphia. Until then, we'll keep you entertained, of course, on this Eagles Insider Podcast, but from a football standpoint, the players scatter, get some rest, and come back ready to go, hit the ground running when training camp begins. We have a great podcast for you today. A one-on-one with running back Miles Sanders, a very revealing conversation with Sanders, who's hosting a football camp in July, and kind of talk about what it means to him to give back to kids. And we talk at length about his upbringing and how that's impacted him in his life, in his career with the Philadelphia Eagles. Miles Sanders, fourth year with the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's coming up in a bit. We're also going to check in with Trent Cole, one of the all-time Eagles' great defensive ends, who's got something for the community as well. That'll be our extra point. We begin with a little wrap-up from head coach Nick Sirianni, who met the media after the OTAs ended. And he talked about some of the things that he has seen with his football team through the spring. 4 weeks on the field, a few weeks in training, conditioning, classrooms before that. The Eagles, of course, have had an electric offseason off the field, adding to the roster in free agency, in the draft, after the draft. And then on the field, no injuries, and the Eagles coming off with very, I guess you'd say, great enthusiasm for what's ahead. It's going to be a fun 2022. All right, let's hear from Nick Sirianni talking about some things that he thinks are important as he talks about the Eagles as they prepare for training camp. And one of those things is an offensive coaching staff, a defensive coaching staff, and the special team staff. Everybody largely comes back intact. 3 coordinators are back. So what does that mean for a football team to have that kind of continuity?
Oh, I think it's huge because the coaching points that you want to get across are across, and there's already that familiarity with the players. Now the rookies have to get to know everybody, but you'd be surprised too that when you bring in a new coach, that's a big step for myself and Shane to teach the guy the offense, or vice versa on the defensive side, Gannon to teach the defense too. That's a big portion of the time because you're not just teaching plays, you're teaching techniques within the plays, what's the responsibilities, you're teaching situations. So to have the entire staff back is huge. And why do you bring the staff back? Because you have talented guys on the staff. And so my vision here is to be able to keep the staff intact, win games, obviously. Guys will obviously get promoted from that, and then be able to have a good young group of nucleus guys that are in position or in support roles to be able to promote. I think, that was something that the college team that I came up in Mount Union, that's what we did a ton of. You look around the NFL, that's what some of the great teams do is they promote from within, and so it's just accumulating talent and trying to promote from within. And I'm glad to say we were able to promote a couple guys, Alex Tanney and Tyler Scudder from support roles to in a little bit more responsibility roles.
Last week, offensive coordinator Shane Steichen revealing that he took over play calling duties midway through the 2021 season, and that the plan is for Steichen to call the plays again. So on Wednesday, Sirianni talked about that decision, what went into it, and what it means for him as a head coach.
As we're going through, we're going through games, and there's obviously a lot of things that go on during the game, right? And I was just noticing, Shane was already calling the 2-minute drills. And like I said, it's a collaborative event. Like, you can't just go out and call a game without putting the plan together, right? You put the plan together all week. Well, one of my favorite things to do in the world is help put the plan together and put the plays in you think are going to work against the defense. That's like one of my favorite things to do in the world. So we're continuing to do that. But what I noticed was I wasn't communicating enough with Gannon about something, or I wasn't communicating enough with the defense when, something that they needed to be pumped up, or Coach Clay, or the special teams. Like I love doing that, to go over into the kickoff return and say, let's go, let's get a play going. There's a lot of things that have to happen in offense before, a drive starts. You have to communicate to all the offensive players, here's the next string of plays. You have to put together the next string of plays of what you're talking about. So I just, I really trusted Shane. Shane and I spent so much time throughout the week together, again, coming up with the plan, between amongst the coaches. And, Shane and I are doing the most of that heavy lifting. And, it just... we shifted to it during one of the games. I felt comfortable with being able to, talk to everybody. There's things that come up with the referees that I need to do. There's things that come up with the guys upstairs that I need to talk through a situation, that how we might need to handle it. So there's just so many things that came up. And you know what? And I wanted to trust the guys on the staff that I had, and because I have good coaches. We just talked about it, and so I trusted Shane. He did a great job when he did it, and I feel really comfortable that we continue on that way. And again, like I said though, I'll be in every meeting. I'm sitting in every meeting. Nothing more that I like to do than to put plays together. There's nothing more I like to do than correct plays after practice, right? To go in there after practice and tell the guys, this is exactly how I want this to look, or we have to fix this. So the only thing that's going to be different of me not being the what you would say offensive coordinator is just the play calling aspect of it. But even in that aspect, we're coming up with the first 15 together, right? We're coming up with the order of the third down. We're coming up with the order of the second half openers at times. We're coming up with the red zone, the 2-minute, and all. There's so much that goes into it. Just like the draft, it can't be hey, we're at pick 7, go. There's been a lot of work that's went into. We ain't gonna have pick 7. All right, let me rephrase that. Okay, all right. There's been a lot of work that's went into that, and it's the same thing as we go. And again, like I said, I got total confidence in Shane, and I'm just really excited to go and have that same process next year.
And of course, all eyes on the quarterback Jalen Hurts in his third year with the Eagles, as you hear, his second with Steichen, with Nick, with the offensive coaches, the first time since high school that this has happened for Hurts. So you'd expect to see a big step forward, and that's exactly what Sirianni has seen from his quarterback.
Jalen is, in my opinion, is more comfortable in the offense, right? And that's just the part of the process the second year, right? He knows where the receivers are going to be versus different looks. He knows where to go with the football a little bit quicker. We've, and we've done our job as coaches, and I don't want to say we've done a good job, but what we've done as coaches is figured out, what he likes and what he's good at and all these different things. So we're just accumulating those reps. And like we talked about, I think you guys asked me a couple last year was, some of these quarterbacks that have been played for so long, they're in year 15, 16, 17, they're getting better at reading it. Why? Because they've seen the play over and over and over again. Well, that's the same progression that Jalen has. And what Jalen, the reason you know that about Jalen, the reason we know Jalen's going to continue to get better is because of the character and the football character and the personal character that he has. This is just the type of guy that's going to reach his maximum potential because of all the off-the-field qualities he has. I've also noticed, just the crispness of the drop, right? It's been, the fundamentals, his fundamentals have improved, and he's really worked hard at that. And so, he's working every day to get better, and I'm really pleased where he is right now. But we got to continue to lay the groundwork, right? That he went 11-12 yesterday and 7-on-7 means nothing. He has to continue to get better and better and better. I don't know what you guys would have a better feel of what he was today. I didn't keep a track. I'll go watch it when I'm done with you guys. But I thought he had a pretty good day today too. But really, what I noticed is he's really seeing where to go with the football and going there quick. But again, got to keep working that because it's just going to get harder and harder.
And so there you have it. The Eagles now take a deep breath and get ready for training camp. Running back Miles Sanders grew up in Pittsburgh, a 5-star recruit to Penn State. Along the way, though, it certainly took some guidance to keep him making good, safe decisions, the right decisions. It's something that's very, very important to Miles, who's giving back to the community with a series of camps that he's hosting, including one on July 10th, which we talk about, and we invite everybody who's in that Pittsburgh area, or if you want to make the trip to Pittsburgh, Miles Sanders is having his football camp there, and he's got a message for everyone. He's got a message for the kids out there. Let's get into it. One-on-one exclusive, Miles Sanders in a different light. Miles, how you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I want to talk about football, but really what I want to talk about is you and something that you're doing, a camp you're having in July, July 10th,
Yeah.
okay? You'll tell me how to get, everybody can sign up in that. It's in Pittsburgh, your hometown. A lot of players say they want to do something, and then they just say it and they don't do it. You want to do something. And you want to do something for kids. And I kind of want to talk to you about why you want to do something for kids. What is it, something that happened in your childhood? Like, I know growing up in Pittsburgh wasn't easy. Describe what it was like.
Well, mainly, I remember being one of those kids, and growing up in Western PA, Pittsburgh. All you know is really the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was just weird for me growing up because the Steelers were actually winning a lot. It wasn't too far. I think it would have been when Bill Cowher got there. They went to Super Bowl in 2005, and then when Mike Tomlin went there, he went to 2 Super Bowls. So it's just, and then my mom used to always take us to Latrobe. That's where they had their training camps, and just remember seeing the football players and looking at them like they're superheroes. So, and that, like I said, I just really remember being one of those kids, and I know what it means. And then having like certain youth camps, I would go to Troy Polamalu's camps where he would have it throughout Pittsburgh, Hines Ward, especially Jerome Bettis, all those type of guys. Just legit thinking they're superheroes to me, as a kid. And you just like, wow, every time looking at them. And I just know the kids appreciate that, especially guys from their actual city and where they came from, made it to where they want to be, kind of. So that's all I want to do is just be motivation. And that's all I ever tried to be, was just be motivation to the youth and just show them that if I can do it, you could do it.
Was where you grew up tough in the sense of like maybe if other kids' moms didn't take them to Latrobe and they didn't make the right decision, they hung out with the wrong people. Was there a lot of that in your neighborhood?
Yes, absolutely. It was very, I say in Pittsburgh area, my home neighborhood, Wilkinsburg, but I went to Woodland Hills High School. It's very easy to become a stereotype or a victim to your surroundings, and it's just real easy. I can't even count on my fingers how many players I've seen go through this and either end up dead or in jail.
Friends.
Yeah, like
good football
friends,
players, nice kids,
teammates, all that.
Because they made the wrong decisions.
Just
wrong place, wrong time.
It's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong decisions. There's a guy, I'm not gonna say his name, but there's a guy that I knew on my team. My coach helped him get out of jail about twice, and still make wrong decisions. Still had offers, still made wrong decisions. It's just I always want to be different, and that's what made me want to be different, because I seen too many people choose that route, and it's an easy way to go in a small city like Pittsburgh. And I don't know. I just wanted to be motivation, and like I said, the kids look at us like superheroes, and I love that feeling.
It does have an impact. I mean, all these years you don't recognize, and I think a lot of players do understand it, that they can change the life of a player, of a young kid, a football player, whatever they are, just by saying, "Hey, there's a different path to get out of this."
Absolutely, and just I don't know. It's just a reason to keep the kids off the streets, too, and have their parents or however you get there. It's a opportunity to get off the streets and not risk your life, And the world we live in is getting crazier and crazier. So we really did have to lock in on the youth and have to try to path a way for them to hopefully change the way this world is, or this country is living, and that means a lot to me. I have not just that camp. July 10th is the Miles Sanders Youth Football Camp, my first youth football camp.
Okay.
I also have a big weekend coming up in about 2 or 3 weeks. June 25th, we have Pittsburgh the Pros, and I'm Pittsburgh the Pros Youth Camp, and I'm doing that with Damar Hamlin. He plays for Buffalo Bills. Went to Pittsburgh Central Catholic. Doing it with Khalid Hudson. He plays for the Washington Commanders. Went to McKee Sport, and Kenny Robinson. He went to U Prep, and he went to West V. So, and he's with the Carolina Panthers. So like it's four of us doing the camp. Pittsburgh the Pros. The tickets sold out in an hour yesterday.
That's awesome.
Legit an hour. And the day after that, we have my Miles Sanders versus Damar Hamlin kickball celebrity game. I have some of my teammates and some big names coming. And then later, right after that, at the same stadium, a couple stadium in Pittsburgh, we're having a high school all-star game too. So it's a big week. We got a big weekend for the youth coming up, and I'm very excited about it.
So this is not a vacation coming up here.
Oh,
This is work for you.
Yeah. I love doing this stuff for the kids, and my mom knows me best. She knows I always wanted to do stuff like this, just have the kids out there and have a reason for them to keep them off the streets, keep them busy.
Tell me about your mom. All I know is Jamaican native, and she had to raise 3 sons by herself.
Yeah.
Pretty remarkable woman.
Mm-hmm.
What made her so remarkable? What makes her so remarkable?
Her sacrifice. She didn't hesitate to sacrifice anything. I could say it turned from taking off every Friday, from high school games, middle little league games. You play on Sundays too. So, but it went from those to Fridays taking off. Maybe have the next day off. It went from Saturdays taking off. She take off the whole weekend coming up Penn State. Now Sunday she take off whenever. She travels, and like she's always there. She's always been there sacrificing whatever. With if I had to go to a camp, like the camps that these kids do in high school and stuff. So whenever I was invited to a camp, I remember I was invited to a 5-star challenge my junior year in Jacksonville. We drove 13 hours from Pittsburgh to go to Jacksonville just to go to that camp, just because we knew it was going to bring me exposure and free scholarships. And that was the main goal. Once I got my first scholarship, I just took off and, just made it a goal. My mom don't have to pay for school, so.
How did she manage a job and 3 boys?
I don't know. You got to ask her, because we actually turned out pretty well. I'm not the most famous one in my family. If it's, I don't know if that's hard to believe.
Go ahead, tell me.
My little brother Kobe, he's a fashion designer, model, graphic designer, all that type of stuff. He models for Michael and Mary. He's met Kanye, did stuff with Yeezy, he does stuff with Converse, Prada, Louis, all type of stuff. So he's that type of guy.
That's cool.
And my oldest brother, Brian, he still lives in the city, but he's a local music producer. So he does all the rappers' music, singers throughout Pittsburgh, and he's currently signed to Taylor Gang, which is a music label with Wiz Khalifa, and he's a big rapper that came out of Pittsburgh too. So
you're kind of the least famous.
Yeah,
It
it pretty much sounds like every time I explain what my brothers did, they're like, "Oh, all 3 of you guys are doing something." So yeah, it's pretty cool. My mom did a tremendous job, and she's still being a mom to this day. Like we not grown. So
Did you know it at the time that she was really sacrificing a lot for you?
Absolutely.
And you always showed her appreciation, I'm sure?
Always. There was, there's hard times, seeing her come home, cried, all that, struggling with the bills, all that, but she's still trying to make sure we pursue our dreams, and that's why I love her the most for it.
What kind of big brother was Brian in terms of just kind of being the example for you?
Well, he didn't play football, so he did, but he liked the music life, but I don't know, just he was my biggest fan too. I ain't gonna lie. My oldest brother is my biggest fan too. Once he seen that I was being serious with it, he was so happy. Just happy that I had a reason to just stay out the streets, and I had a path and a goal that I wanted to do, and they knew I was serious about it.
Miles, at what age, and it had to be long before your junior in high school or sophomore in high school, like what age did people know you were special in football?
I could say my 8th grade year, because when I was in 8th grade, I was still playing Little League, but I actually skipped like the big team, the big team, for Little League football. And in 8th grade, there was only 6 8th graders on that night on the freshman football team, and I was one of them. And that was a first for our type of high school. Then I played a lot, and yeah, had a good name. And then when I got to freshman year in high school, they moved to varsity. They wanted me to go up with the varsity and lift with them instead of go train with the ninth grade team. And I'm gonna be honest, I was 160 pounds, 5'9". I did not want to be in the high school football team. That was when I didn't really know what the football stuff was. It was just a hobby at that point. And then I don't know, something clicked, and I ended up getting a starting job. And then even that happened. I was like, man, I don't know I'm too small. I was too worried about my weight. But once I started playing, and I had a decent year. We made it to the championship. And then I got my first offer, and then that's when it just clicked in my head. I said, well, wow, I got a chance to help my mom out in a big way and make her proud in a big way. So, and that was it.
It's interesting. At the same time, I mean, you've got to focus on taking care of yourself and being an NFL player and staying employed, right? Like for as many years as you possibly can. How do you kind of time manage and plan out all of these youth opportunities that you have?
I try to do it like this year we had OTAs and they gave us the dates. I just try to do it like right after OTAs, so I can still have time to train and have just still have time to like train consistently. Because even probably I'm gonna probably take this weekend off and probably start training again back Monday, because we only have about 6 or 7 weeks until we report back. So, but no, just playing everything on the weekend. That's all I tell my agents is just make sure you plan stuff on the weekend, because I got to get my workouts in.
So July 10th
is the Miles Sanders football camp, first annual at the Woodland Hills Wolverina.
Woodland Hills, PA, up in Pittsburgh, Wolverina.
Yep.
How can people find out about this more? Is there a website they can go to?
I haven't dropped the website yet.
Okay.
But
because of course it's going to sell out in a week.
Yeah. There will be a link that I'll post. There will be hype videos and stuff that my agents and team got made for me. So it's pretty soon we'll make the announcement. Probably around the week when I have the first camps.
What's it like when you go home? Like, do kids look up to you?
Yeah, this weekend's gonna be. I'm excited for this week. It's gonna be a lot of kids. We have a lot of kids. We invited almost every little league team throughout the city, every high school, whatever. It's just we just want to be filled with kids and want them to have fun.
What if you could pull a kid next to you and just talk to an 8-year-old kid who you see is really talented, but maybe doesn't have the people around him? Like, what do you say to these kids that can really sink in?
Don't be a follower. If you got a goal, do whatever. You have to be able to sacrifice. I could say, if you have a goal, you have to be willing to sacrifice anything and everything to get to that point. That means the close friends that you have, if they don't benefit you in the right way, you have to let them go or have your space with them. That means when you're out, if you out, your friends want to go outside and play, you're at an age in high school where you can choose, like, I could just go to the field and work out instead, because that's where all the BS happens. It's nighttime on the streets, and the streets is not friendly to everybody. It's not, and it's,
as you saw when you were growing up.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I just looked at it just not being a father. I always wanted to be different, and I didn't want to be a stereotype.
Yeah, you don't want to be a statistic, which is happening way too much in this country. I didn't realize that where you grew up was like that. It was that, I guess, kind of around every corner dangerous.
Yeah, it's similar to Philly.
Yeah.
It's just smaller.
Yeah. Sports saved your life then?
Yeah, I can say that. Football definitely did.
Yeah. Let me ask you this about football. How was the spring, Miles?
Oh, the spring was
for
great.
You for football.
How
great. Excited are you for training camp?
Super. I mean, I love the fact that our defense is stacked, and it's going to be a competitive training camp. It's going to make everybody better, literally. I think we have a great team. The chemistry's there, with a guy like Nick Sirianni leading us. He's going to continue to have that fun feeling. Like he makes it fun to come to work. I'm not gonna lie. And then when we compete, there's so many good players on this team. I can't wait. Literally.
Some media guy, last one, said to me today, he walked in his first time he was here, he goes, wow, you know what I noticed today? I said, what's your takeaway? He goes, Miles Sanders' thighs are huge. Did you work on your thighs a lot in the offseason? I didn't really notice that they're any different than they were before.
I didn't notice either, but I kind of, I don't know. I kind of gained a little muscle on my thighs a little bit, I guess. I don't know. Just, I train I want to use. I
But
trained
your butt off.
really hard this offseason before I came here. Just looking forward to the second part. My trainer's waiting for me in Pittsburgh to get back. So
I love it. Hey, man, congratulations. And great. I mean, what you're doing off the field is super important to everybody. And you're not only talking the talk, you're walking the walk. And that's what a man does.
yeah, my big goal is win Walter Payton one day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a goal of mine.
You ever see the trophies in the trophy case there, the 3 trophy cases?
Hopefully I could be
Man
one
of the
them.
year.
Yeah.
Nice. Miles Sanders, thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it. In this week's Extra Point, we visit with former Eagles defensive end Trent Cole, one of the best in Eagles history, known for his aggressiveness, his relentlessness. He's been out of the game now 6 years, and he's just starting to get that itch again. So in the Extra Point, we catch up with Trent Cole, who's also in South Jersey, giving back to the community and inviting kids to attend his football camp coming up later this summer.
Trent Cole, it's been a while since we've heard from you, and I know you've got something coming up later in the month that we really want to get kids involved in, but let's catch up with you first. How has the transition been from NFL football to major fisherman, which I know you are?
Yeah, there's a lot of things I'm knocking off the bucket list there, but just transition from from the NFL to the retire life, and it's been great. It's been great, and a lot of great things has come my way, and and like I said, also I'm getting starting now. I'm kind of 5 or 6 years later. I'm starting to get a little itch of football, getting back into football after getting some stuff together and just kind of after the prep for that retire life.
So when you say you're getting the itch, what does that mean exactly?
Yeah, just getting back into getting back to the community. As far as I'm doing camps, and I got a big camp coming up here, June 27th, 28th at Total Turf in Pittman in June that middle school to high school kids can sign up for, and it's not your regular camp that you go there and it's all age groups. No, this is specifically for a defensive camp, and we're going to be also we got things in the future for offensive camps as well. But talking to some of my former defensive teammates, we always talked about we didn't like 707s. You know what I'm saying? And because the 707s was the forward defensive player, and plus if you look around, there's nothing really for the defensive player. All our saying is that, championships start. To win championships, it starts up front, and that was our ideology of why and one of our main reasons of bring these camps back out for kids who are on the defensive side of the ball.
I definitely want to make sure that everybody knows how they can sign up and get their kids signed up for your camp. So we'll get to that in just a moment. But you are so much about relentless effort and just never stopping on a play, Trent. Is that one of the great keys to success in the NFL? That everybody's got the talent. Certainly you have to have the technique, but man, you got to want it more than the other guy.
You got to, no matter what, at the end of the day, you're not at war. You're not in competition with your, you're not in competition with your opponent. You're in competition with yourself. You know what I'm saying? And then you already won the war, but you got to win the battle, and the battle is with yourself. And and that's all part of it. You got to put all of these components together. I mean, you got to study film. There's plenty of different things you got to know. You got to go out there and practice practice like you're playing in a game. I mean, you want to hone in on these skills. And remember, just like Dave, in practice, you only get so much time to practice. So that's why you got to utilize this off season to hone in on your skills. Because when it comes to practice, that hone in on your skills time gets cut down drastically. You know what I'm saying? And you don't got so much time to prepare. So you gotta. There's a lot of things that comes together of being a great player. And like you said, Dave, being relentless. And me being a relentless player that I was, that had a huge part of it. part of my success, and I think mentally had a drastic part of my success.
All right, so you're giving back to the community. I love it. The dates are June 27 and June 28. The location is Pittman, New Jersey. It is the 2022 Total Turf Camp, Trent Cole's defensive football camp. And kids can go to thehunter.com and sign up. Is that the best way to do it, Trent?
Yes, that's the best way to do it. Go to hunter.com and get signed up. It's live DJ. I mean, we have a live hype man there. I mean, we got a lot of different other stuff that's going on there before the kids and stuff. And we're going to be taking these kids into a classroom, giving them classroom work, to on the field work. And they're going to learn, what a professional is seeing and what he's hearing, and how, and when to make the right move at the right time because of what he's seen. You know what I'm saying?
Trent, it sounds great, and let's get everybody signed up. Kids, sign up and learn from one of the best in Eagles history, Trent Cole. Your football camp, I love your first one. Let's keep it going here, man, and stay in touch.
Yeah, thank you, Dave.
Trent, you're the man. Thank you.
And that will do it for this episode of the Eagles Insider Podcast, presented by Lincoln Financial Group. Eagles Insider Dave Spadaro with you. And we're going to be back next week with more, and we'll be back weekly right up until training camp begins. We can't wait. Hope everyone is safe and healthy out there. Keep it that way. We've got a lot of fun to get to in 2022. Thanks to Ray Doyle for his work. Thanks to the Eagles Media Relations team for setting up the interviews and making it so accessible to have great content from the Eagles players and coaches directly. Thanks to Peter Kelly for putting this all together and making it sing every week. And thanks to all of you for joining each and every episode. If you have a moment to give us a review, and we love those 5 stars, we have a link set up for you in the details section of your podcast library. Enjoy, everyone. Have yourselves a great Eagles day. Fly, Eagles, fly. And from Eagles Insider, Dave Spadaro once again, go Birds!
EATS!